Have you ever felt like someone likes you, but they never say it? No confession, no clear move, just vibes, mixed signals, silent energy. Listen carefully, because attraction doesn't stay hidden forever. When a man is secretly drawn to you, his behavior will speak louder than his words ever could. Let's break it down. He doesn't just happen to be around you. He positions himself in your world with quiet intention. You'll start noticing a pattern that feels almost accidental at first, but the more attention you pay, the more deliberate it becomes. He appears in places you frequent, joins conversations where you're present, or lingers just a little longer when you're nearby. It's not about coincidence. It's about connection pulling him closer without him fully admitting why. Even in group settings, his attention subtly orbits around you. He may laugh louder at your jokes, respond quicker when you speak, or angle his body in your direction as if drawn by something he can't quite control. What's interesting is that he won't always make it obvious. Instead of directly approaching you every time, he may create indirect opportunities, asking mutual friends questions, engaging in activities you enjoy, or casually showing up in spaces where he knows you'll be. It's a careful balance between wanting to be seen and not wanting to reveal too much. This is where many people miss the signal, because it doesn't come with a bold declaration. It shows up in consistency. Anyone can be around you once or twice, but someone who is secretly attracted will make it a habit without announcing it. You may also notice how he reacts when you're about to leave. There's often a slight hesitation, like he's not ready for your presence to end. He might extend the conversation, bring up a new topic, or find a small excuse to keep the moment going just a little longer. That extra effort isn't random, it's emotional investment trying to stretch time. Even his body language reveals it. Leaning in, staying engaged, minimizing distractions when you're speaking. In a world full of people glued to their phones, his focus on you becomes its own kind of confession. This kind of behavior speaks to something deeper than surface-level interest. It reflects a natural pull, a desire to be close without risking rejection too soon. He's studying the space between you, trying to understand where he stands while quietly making sure he doesn't fade into the background. The truth is, when someone consistently places themselves near you without needing a reason, that is the reason. His eyes will reveal a story he hasn't found the courage to speak out loud. You'll notice it in the way his gaze lingers just a second longer than normal, as if he's trying to take in every detail without being obvious. It's not just about looking, it's about how he looks. There's a softness, a curiosity, sometimes even a quiet intensity that feels different from casual attention. He watches you when you're not aware, and the moment you catch him, there's often a quick shift. He looks away, adjusts his posture, or pretends to focus on something else. That small reaction carries more truth than any words he could say. In conversations, his eye contact becomes more intentional. He doesn't just glance and move on. He locks in, fully present, as if what you're saying matters deeply to him. Even in a crowded room, his attention has a way of finding you. It's subtle but powerful, like his focus naturally returns to you without effort. When you speak, his eyes don't wander much, and when you pause, he's still there, holding that connection for just a moment longer than necessary. That kind of presence isn't accidental. It's emotional engagement trying to stay controlled. There's also a certain brightness that appears when he sees you. It could be a slight widening of the eyes, a quick spark of excitement, or a gentle smile that follows without him realizing it. These reactions happen instantly before he has time to hide them, and that's what makes them so genuine. It's the body responding before the mind steps in to manage the situation. You might even notice that his pupils dilate or his expression softens when you're close, small biological cues that signal attraction at a deeper level. At times, he may struggle to maintain eye contact for too long, especially if his feelings are strong. Instead of confidently holding your gaze, he might glance away, then look back again, caught between wanting connection and fearing exposure. That back and forth creates a rhythm. Look, retreat, return, that quietly reveals everything he's trying to hide. It's not discomfort with you. It's the weight of what he feels when he looks at you. Even silence between you can feel charged because of it. No words, just a shared glance that seems to say more than a conversation ever could. In those moments, his eyes aren't just observing, they're expressing admiration, curiosity, and a hint of vulnerability. And while he may never admit it directly, the way he looks at you becomes a language of its own, one that consistently reveals what his voice is still holding back. His behavior shifts the moment you enter his space, and it's not something he plans. It just happens. One minute he's relaxed, acting completely normal, and the next, there's a subtle change in how he carries himself. He might straighten his posture, adjust his tone, or suddenly become more aware of everything he says and does. It's like your presence activates a different version of him, one that's trying to impress you without making it obvious. This shift can go in different directions depending on his personality. Some men become more talkative, trying to keep the energy alive, while others grow quieter, choosing their words more carefully because they don't want to say the wrong thing. You may notice he laughs a little more when you're around, even at things that aren't that funny. It's not forced. It's just that he's more engaged, more tuned in to you, and naturally reacts stronger. Or maybe he starts joking, teasing lightly, trying to create a playful connection. On the other hand, if he's more reserved, his change might look like nervous habits, fidgeting with his hands, fixing his clothes, or glancing around before returning his focus to you. These small actions aren't random. They're signs that your presence affects his internal state. What stands out is the inconsistency. Around others, he's one way. Around you, he's slightly different. That difference is where the truth lives. He may try to appear confident, but there are moments where his guard slips, revealing a hint of nervous energy. It's not weakness, it's awareness. He knows you matter, even if he hasn't said it out loud, and that awareness makes him more self-conscious than usual. There's also a heightened level of attention in how he responds to you. He listens more carefully, reacts more quickly, and seems more invested in keeping the interaction going. If you say something, he engages. If you joke, he responds. If there's a pause, he often feels the need to fill it. It's as if silence with you feels more noticeable, so he tries to keep the connection alive in any way he can. Sometimes this change in behavior can even confuse you. You might wonder why he's inconsistent, why he seems confident one day and slightly distant the next. But that push and pull often comes from him trying to manage feelings he hasn't fully accepted. He's balancing between showing interest and protecting himself from being too obvious. That inner conflict reflects outwardly in his behavior, creating those small but meaningful shifts every time you're around. He holds on to details about you that most people would overlook, and he does it without making a show of it. You might mention something casually, your favorite snack, a random childhood memory, a song you like, and days or even weeks later, he brings it up again like it mattered. That kind of recall isn't accidental. It shows that when you speak, he isn't just hearing you, he's absorbing you. Your words stay with him because you stay on his mind. It often reveals itself in quiet, unexpected moments. He might suggest a place you once said you liked. Remember how you take your tea or coffee, or check in about something you mentioned in passing. These aren't grand gestures. They're small, precise actions that show he's paying attention at a deeper level. While others forget, he stores those details because to him, they're pieces of you worth keeping. And what makes it more meaningful is that he doesn't do this for everyone. There's a selectiveness in his attention. You'll also notice how he reacts when you share something personal. He listens more carefully, asks thoughtful follow-up questions, and brings it up later in a way that shows he genuinely cared. It's not about collecting information. It's about connection. He wants to understand you, not just on the surface, but in the little things that make you who you are. Even your moods don't go unnoticed. If your energy shifts, he senses it. If something feels off, he may not always ask directly, but his behavior adjusts. More attentive, more aware, more present. Sometimes he'll remember things even you've forgotten saying, and that can catch you off guard. You might laugh it off, but it reveals how much attention he gives you when you're not even trying to impress him. That level of awareness doesn't come from politeness. It comes from interest that runs deeper than casual interaction. It's emotional focus directed specifically at you. There's also a subtle pride in the way he uses those details. When he recalls something about you, it's not to show off. It's to connect, to create a moment where you feel seen and understood. And in a world where most people only half listen, someone who remembers the little things stands out without needing to try too hard. He shows up for you in ways that don't draw attention but leave a lasting impact. There's no grand announcement, no loud declaration of support, just a steady presence that you begin to notice over time. When you talk about your goals, he listens with genuine interest and responds in a way that encourages you to keep going. He might offer a suggestion, share something helpful, or simply remind you that you're capable, even if he keeps it casual. It's not about impressing you. It's about quietly standing in your corner. You'll see it in the way he reacts when things aren't going well for you. He becomes more attentive, more available, without making it obvious that he's trying. A simple message to check in, a small gesture to lift your mood, or even just being present when you need someone. These actions may seem minor, but they carry emotional weight. He doesn't always ask for credit or expect recognition. In fact, he often keeps it low-key, as if he doesn't want you to look too closely at why he cares so much. There's also a protective energy that comes through, especially when you're not around. If someone speaks about you unfairly or crosses a line, he subtly defends you. Not in a dramatic way, but in a calm, controlled manner that shows respect for you. It's not about creating conflict. It's about maintaining your dignity even when you're not there to do it yourself. That kind of support reveals a deeper level of regard, one that goes beyond surface level attraction. He pays attention to what matters to you and aligns himself with it in quiet ways. If something is important in your life, he treats it with importance too. Whether it's your work, your passions, or your personal struggles, he doesn't dismiss or minimize them. Instead, he validates them through his actions, by being present, by remembering, by responding with care. And even when he can step back or remain neutral, he chooses not to. What makes this different is the consistency. Anyone can show support once, but he does it repeatedly without being asked and without expecting anything in return. It's not performative, it's natural. His actions reflect a kind of silent investment where he's already contributing to your well-being without labeling the connection. Over time, that quiet support builds a sense of trust, revealing feelings that he hasn't put into words but continues to express through what he does. There's a subtle shift in his energy when other men enter the conversation, even if he tries to hide it. It's not loud or dramatic. It's controlled, almost restrained, but you can feel it if you pay attention. His tone might change slightly, his body language may become more guarded, or he might grow quieter for a moment as he processes what he's feeling. He won't openly question you or show obvious discomfort, but there's a brief pause, like something inside him just got activated. You might notice he asks casual questions that seem harmless on the surface, but carry a deeper curiosity. He could ask who someone is, how you know them, or make a light comment that feels a bit more intentional than usual. It's not interrogation, it's him trying to understand where he stands without exposing his emotions. That curiosity isn't random. It's driven by a quiet sense of attachment he hasn't fully expressed. Sometimes he'll try to play it off with humor or indifference, acting like it doesn't matter at all. But even in that, there's a slight overcompensation. He may laugh it off too quickly or shift the topic in a way that feels just a little forced. These small reactions reveal the internal tension between wanting to stay composed and feeling something deeper than he's willing to admit. It's not about control. It's about protecting his feelings while they're still unspoken. His attention towards you can also become more focused in those moments. He may engage with you more directly, try to keep your attention, or subtly reinsert himself into your space. It's not possessiveness in an aggressive sense. It's more like a quiet reminder of his presence. He doesn't want to lose connection, even if he hasn't claimed it. That instinct to stay close becomes more noticeable when he feels there could be competition. There's also a protective undertone that can emerge. He might become slightly more observant of how others interact with you, not interfering, but definitely aware. It's as if he's watching without wanting to appear like he's watching. This heightened awareness isn't about distrust, it's about value. When someone matters to him, the idea of losing their attention or connection creates a subtle emotional response he can't completely hide. All of these reactions remain controlled because he doesn't want to reveal too much too soon. He's balancing between emotion and restraint, trying to keep things normal while internally navigating feelings he hasn't voiced. That quiet jealousy isn't about insecurity, it's about unspoken interest finding its way to the surface in small, almost invisible ways.